Bloomberg, remember, he announced he was going to spend $100 million to help Joe Biden win Florida. He announced that about a month ago. Okay, he's got billions. He's a billionaire, fine, whatever. He can choose sides politically. What you can't do is violate election law, state election law. You can't buy votes for someone. That's kind of like a known thing you can't do in America. They literally said, quote, "We have identified a significant vote share that requires a nominal investment," in their memo. The data shows that in Florida, black voters are a unique universe, unlike any other voting bloc where the Democrat support rate tends to be 90 to 95%. So we will pay the court fines and fees of nearly 32,000 black and Hispanic Florida voters with felony convictions, because in Florida, once your fees have been paid, if you've already served your time, so you're out of prison, you can then vote again. You're restored with your voting rights. And they said it was an effort aimed at boosting turnout for Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. They did this specifically targeted black and Hispanic voters because they vote 90+% Democrat, they say.
Yeah, it's not intelligent. I'll just tell you, Jordan, just politically, I think it's politically tone deaf as well. Look, you can stuff ballot boxes. You sometimes can fraudulently turn an election. But one thing I don't think you can do is slip this past the American people. I think this is going to backfire on them. Now, look, there's got to be political election law enforcement that happens. But as far as appealing to the American people and appealing to undecided voters about having a fair and open process, Jordan, I'll just tell you, I think it will backfire. I think the American people know that this is fraudulent.
We're talking about Mike Bloomberg paying off the fines for 32,000 felons in Florida so they can go vote. 32,000, by the way, was like the margin of victory for Ron DeSantis, something like that. Was it, Will, right? It was like the margin of victory for Ron DeSantis was 32,000, something like that, or maybe even less. It was a very close election. Here is the Florida criminal statute. It is Title IX, Section 104, .61, corruptly influencing voting. This is Section 2. No person shall directly or indirectly give or promise anything of value to another, intending to thereby buy that person or another's vote, or to corruptly influence that person or another in casting his or her vote. Any person who violates this subsection is guilty of a felony. So I want to go to Andy a comment right now. Andy, that is the state law, and it goes so far as to say is even if you're indirectly trying to influence the person, and certainly if you know that you got your fines paid off so that you could go vote, and Mike Bloomberg did it, I think you certainly meet that one of attempting, thereby to buy that person or trying to influence them to vote Democrat, because you're saying, hey, this guy did a great thing for me. And so I probably should go vote the way he wants.
Well, that's exactly right, Jordan. When, the statute is written in such a way that it says you don't directly or indirectly give anything of value. Money is something of value. It's the ultimate thing of value, intending to buy that person's vote. And that's exactly what Bloomberg is trying to do, and those of his cohorts who are trying to do this, and the other groups that are allied together in this attempt to actually buy black and Hispanic votes for Biden, or to corruptly influence that person in casting his or her vote. Well, of course it's corrupt, because it's not saying vote your conscience, it's vote Democrat. And here's the proof of how you can do it. Come here, convicted felon, child molester, drug dealer, murder, burglar, robber, rapist. All of you have been convicted of crimes, and take advantage of this Florida vote that says if you've got restitution that you haven't made or fines you haven't paid, I'll pay it for you. But you know what you got to do? You got to go in that voting booth and you got to vote Democrat for Biden. Of course it's a crime, and the Attorney General of Florida and the state's attorneys throughout the state of Florida should be doing something about it. It's an attempt to undermine the sanctity and the integrity of this election in Florida, clearly.